we're here in the Peacock Lounge. Matt Nevins here. We're doing this classic low-budget episode of The Tap, just passing the phone back and forth to and fro because Matt's phone needs to update its voice app. How's it doing over there? There's a miserable service out here. I can't imagine it's gone very far. Hasn't started. Gods be bad. Yes, raise the phone a little higher over your head. That's going to work. Anyways, we're going to pass the phone back and forth. I'm going to use my newspaper journalistic interview skills. I'm going to set them upon you. What are you grabbing? You're going to grab a bevy right as I start the podcast. You animal. Okay. Well, anyways, for those who do not know, the Peacock Lounge is the empty pool outside of my domicile. The Plex, Steph and I call it, because it is indeed a duplex. But this empty pool used to be filled with water and childhood memories, Matthew. Childhood memories. We had a basketball hoop. We had Little League after, like, game parties, birthdays.
Wow.
Just bloody basketball matches. You grew up with brothers. A pool with a basketball hoop is there's bound to be blood in the water. Am I right?
No blood, no foul.
No blood, no foul. Indeed, sir. But you are no stranger to the tap, sir. We're sitting here in this empty pool now, bound to be filled with more memories, such as this. Overflowing with memories. Yeah, welcome back to the tap, sir. How does it feel to be back?
Feels great to be here, Sandwich.
Think if I left it right here, would be able, if we just kind of lean in on our elbows. So I'm not just, whoa. Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry. Doing silly things. Blowing dirt all over the place. Matthew. How goes it, sir? We are in the Peacock Lounge. It couldn't be much better than this, can it?
It's a beautiful day.
We just got done playing some disc golf.
Great day for disc golf.
Sammy's Valley, you had about 4 hole-in-ones here.
I think it was 3 for 5 on the last
3 for 5.
The last 5 holes.
As they would say in Spanish, it was increíble. Huh? Disc golf. When did you first? What tickles you about disc golf? Why you throwing this piece of plastic around?
I like the fresh air. Really, kind of a game you can play at your own pace.
With a beer in hand, no less. A beer in hand.
Usually, beers in hand are encouraged.
Indeed.
And typically, it makes your gameplay a little better.
Absolutely.
It helps you loosen up a little bit. But I just like being outside, moving at my own pace. Here we go! Usually with some friends.
A little nature.
Yeah, a little nature.
We got the dogs out here, a natural hazard we've deemed.
Yeah, the dogs maybe need to stay home for the disc golf.
I like that Babylon Bee article you sent me. A disc golfer was disqualified from a tournament for having no THC in his urine.
Yeah, well, if you're going to be a PDGA pro, you're going to have to bring your A game.
Not the B- game. That's not going to get you championships. But standard disc golf courses, if people do not know, it's the big metal basket you toss it in, that's the hole. But around these parts, we have rusty gas tanks, stores, cars, tractors, all a bunch of silly around the property. And it's called Sam's Valley, Matt, because I walked around with old Sammy girl, my black lab.
Oh, okay.
Rest her soul. Walked around, mapped it out, and it was a good afternoon with the old hound dog. But disc golf, what a hoot. Where is the best disc golf course you've ever played in?
Oh, best disc golf course I've played in is San Diego.
San Diego?
Beautiful.
How beautiful?
Oh, man. I believe
like
it's
Eva
27 holes.
Yeah.
Some hills.
How tall were those hills?
The hills were high.
Oh, as high as Snoop Dogg?
A lot. It was a really challenging course, but it was well maintained.
Ooh.
A lot of long holes. A lot of par 4, par 5s. 27 holes.
How many miles would you say you're walking? That's a good distance. 27 holes.
Yeah, you're probably doing...
It's a lot of holes, Matt.
Man, not enough things to put in holes.
Never. Put some discs in them. Slinging that disc.
Sling it. You're probably doing a solid 5 miles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
27
that
holes?
course would take you the better part of an afternoon.
Here's a question for you, Matt, and hopefully, if you're listening to this, do mute it, because I'm going to ask Matt a naughty question. Naughty. Listen to the tap, is Curly? Is she?
I'm sorry?
She listens to the tap. Of course she does.
I've heard her listen to it.
Who doesn't listen to the tap?
I've heard her listen to it.
Probably my mom's episodes. Shout out to Debbie Gertz. Here's the question. So if there's any other family members, here's your warning. I'm going to start doing this. Whenever there's dirtiness involved, because mom and dad are always bitching at me.
Trigger warning.
Think if your grandparents are listening. All right, this is a naughty warning. Naughty Matthew. So say you were a single Matthew. This is all hypothetical. If you're a single man and 27 holes. Say there's a beautiful woman, a filthy whore, one might say, a tavern wench at every hole, and you had to give her a poke in. Would you be able to finish all 27 holes in the day?
Oh, no. I don't think so.
27.
I don't think so, Sandwich.
What if they're like,
maybe there was a time in my life when I was virile enough.
Virile.
I don't think so, Sandwich.
I feel like I'd make it. I would hope I'd make it to the turn.
Depends on what the man is, Sandwich.
With a couple of bogeys in there. Couple of birdies, maybe. Some early cutters, a bunch of birdies. Okay, back to reality, as Eminem would say. You have a beard. How's that working out for you?
Works out very well.
Do you feel like there's more authority to you? How big of a part of your personality do you owe to the beard?
I think maybe 40% of my personality.
Really?
That's
a lot. That's a lot.
Really embraced it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Does it have a name?
No.
That's a weird. That's a weird name.
Come see me. I'm about that. Big trust.
But it is you are not. I'm so used to you with the beard that if it were shaven completely, it would be bizarre. I would not like what I see. I mean, I already don't like what I see.
I don't think that you like what you see.
No, nobody would. Be like, where'd this 10-year-old come
I'm just
from?
trying to hide behind something.
It's deeper than that. It is your shield upon the world.
This way I only have to see 70% of my face.
Why is it this is such a Joe Rogan question, to be a little older, to have facial hair shows a smidge of maturity, like how high up you are perhaps in the totem pole, or where society puts a premium with beards or facial hair and kind of associating it with prestige, perhaps, or wisdom, like a beard means something. Like, why do we put so much emphasis on one's facial hair? Say classic, like a beard, mustache.
God has a beard.
Indiana Jones, like a 5 o'clock shadow, a little scruff. Luke Skywalker, clean shaven.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd teach their own.
Obi-Wan with a beard.
To each their own.
Yeah. Does the same
Some
go
people's
for...
facial hair just looks really weird.
I bet.
Like,
is this a hot take?
Family has really weird looking. Your dad's the only one that has like.
Yeah, Pops has it together. Or just
has
shows...
like actual facial hair.
I consider it a disassociation of patches of facial pubes, or just random factions of face pubes, because it's not real facial hair. It's just kind of weird patches of just something not put together. But here's my question for you. Are you ready for it? It's naughty. Here's a naughty warning. Santa Claus. Great facial hair, right?
Yeah.
I think he is clean shaven down below. Like, not a single hair in sight. His balls are like everything's waxed. He is clean. No gooch hair either.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yay or nay?
He's a weird guy, yeah.
He's super weird.
Super weird.
Do you think he has like candy cane to like mistletoe tattooed right over his wiener? Like
just
right below the belly button, he's got some mistletoe.
This. Take Santa Claus.
What about him?
And just disassociate that person with the name Santa Claus.
Oh,
if it was
man.
just
it's a great porn
Steve
name.
Down the block.
Oh man.
In his back shed, he kept a bunch of midgets building treehouse, birdhouses to give to kids for Christmas. That's a weird dude, man. Climbs down people's chimneys.
Sounds like a Mitch. Something Mitch would do.
Yeah. Maybe not Steve, more Mitch. Yeah, more
Mitch?
Mitch.
Like,
thing.
that's like, Mitch is weird as f***. Probably has red hair too. No good. No good comes from red hair. But yeah, facial hair, it's great. Do you prefer to let your bush just flow out of you, or do you keep that bad boy nice and maintained like a PGA green?
Every month or so, I'll
keep it in check. Let it know that you got your eye on it.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple gray pubes on myself, Matt. It's scaring me.
Well,
every once in a while. There's only been like 2 so far. Knock on wood. Not my wang.
Dude, nice.
Oh, man. What a filthy episode. Family should not be listening to children's books. I was back here the other day, recently. And as we stay quiet, hopefully the people back home can hear this. But all the different birds you hear, if you just shut your mouth. They're all speaking. They're talking. Peacocks howling. It's just like how much nature is around us when we really, like, we are on this earth with different creatures and existences, not just people. Like, there's another world another reality, if you will, going on around us that has to put up with our reality.
We're definitely living in multiple realities.
Like, these animals are trying to kill each other with their faces. And we're just sitting here and, trying to kill some poontang with my face. Hey! That's terrible. That's a great unison. I
hope Debbie listens.
No, she shan't. I've told her there's warnings. The trigger has been pulled, all right? There's no... Tell that to Alec Baldwin.
So what? Hey!
Ooh.
So what prompted you to want to do a podcast?
It was just something I wanted to do. I had a desire to get into... Did it
relate to the conversation we were having immediately before you said that?
No, I don't think so. But like in college, I thought I was gonna get into radio. I thought it'd be cool. I always listened to it growing up, and I was like, this is cool. But like the reality of that industry is to be on the radio is slim to none. You got to know somebody.
Man, you're doing it right here.
Podcast right here, right now. It's so easy. I mean, I do want to be more consistent on setting up the equipment and making it more top notch. But video is also the future. Like, I got to put there's a lot of editing goes into something like this. I've not been putting in the funny sound effects and all the shenanigans, which I really do enjoy.
You do need to have like a panel of buttons with sound effects.
I'm not sure how to facilitate that. But usually it's more.
I don't know a lot about it, but I could
curse
point
bleeps
you in a direction probably.
Oh
yeah. No, just like get like a soundboard.
What was your favorite, sound effect on a radio show or something like that? There's so many great ones. Just the cartoon
the boinging spring. The boing spring. I mean, come on. You can't not laugh when
if somebody makes like a reference to a wiener or something.
There's so many different versions of it. Usually they're all pretty good.
Versions.
Different types.
Are there? Different types. Always. Which is a good thing. There needs to be different types. All types.
It does. Otherwise, why would you ever keep looking for anything?
If
everything's the same, why wouldn't you just stop where you're at and fucking,
In your mind, what would make the perfect communism?
Jesus Christ. Is everybody being dead? I don't know.
Is the board collective? I'd say a hive mind is the closest thing to like for a communism to work. Yeah. Brainwashed.
I think most of the people have to just be dead.
Yeah, I'd say so. Just a few. It puts the lotion on the skin, Matt.
Indeed.
What a scary situation that would be. You're in a f***ing well, and this crazy guy with his wiener tucked back.
I've never even considered myself being in that situation.
Man. Clarice.
I mean, stuck in a spot maybe, but not with the serial killer looking down at me telling me to put fucking lotions on the skin.
I listened to that audiobook narrated by Kathy Bates.
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really good. Wow. Really good. I could not recommend it enough. About a 12-discer, No big deal. I listened to one by Tom Clancy. It was like 30 discs.
Every one of his books is like 300-400 pages.
It's outrageous. Do you consider listening to an audiobook equivalent to reading a book with thine eyes?
Attention campers. Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle.
Equivalent is probably the right word, but I guess, yeah. Can be. I mean, different people can retain it better.
Yeah.
And in books that I've read and listened to, definitely like a different experience. I don't know.
It's wild. I prefer it in certain doses. I do.
What's the type of book? Something like I
listen to the whole Harry Potter.
Nonfiction can be good, but
listen to the whole
fiction
Harry.
would probably be good because you're really reading a story. But if like the book I'm reading now, The Sign and the Seal, it's like there's so much stuff where it's
Reading
like,
with your eyes or listening?
I got reading with my eyes because you got to be able to flip back and forth and reference what you read 20 pages ago.
That is way more effort than I want to put into reading a book.
It's a lot of effort, but it's a compelling story. Very compelling. Possibly the basis for all conflict in all of humanity.
Porn is compelling. But the Ark of the Covenant.
I mean, I don't know if I would put the Ark of the Covenant and porn like on the same level of compelling. They compel you to do different things, maybe. I don't know.
I'm compelled, Morty.
Indeed.
Conflict. The source of all conflict, I'd say just
I mean,
tribalism.
if it is what they said it was, then it was a tool of ultimate power, and whoever held control over it, would have ultimate power.
What would you do with ultimate power?
Probably instill communism or something.
Yeah. Give yourself a second wiener.
Potatoes.
Oh, man,
if I had a second
I feel
wiener,
like that'd be a curse.
If I had a second wiener, I'd put it like upside down over my own, so when I was having an erection, it's like a pincer. Call it the Beatles.
Dung beetle.
That was infinitely better. That was infinitely better. Well done. The dung beetle. Oh my god.
How do you get me talking about this?
Yeah, that was excellent. I didn't even think
my
to say
lord.
dung beetle, but of course that's what a wiener's nickname would be called.
I mean, yours.
Yeah.
Yours, not necessarily anybody's.
I have a reputation to maintain.
So audiobooks are definitely children's books.
They are children's books.
They're I mean, there's another. It's like you've got an intermediary between you and the author, unless the author is the one reading the book. So it's like.
I agree. That's a very good point. There's
if there's not like real good direction being given to the voice actor that's reading it, maybe they're putting the inflection on the wrong word or they're using the wrong tone as they're saying something. So it's like you're conveying more by having it read to you, but as long as it's conveying the right thing or it's compelling the way it's being conveyed.
So my stance on it is to listen to an audiobook is you're getting the story, but it's the easy way out. To consume it, when you read it with your eyes, like the book, I feel like means a little bit more, and you're more involved. You have to fill in those voices. You have to narrate it. You have to, it's up to you to interpret through the act of reading the emotions you're supposed to feel, the terror or whatever the author's trying to say. And I get that a lot of times.
I think that there's different. I think that. I mean, I'm not an author, but it seems like through reading a written word versus hearing it spoken, I think maybe you can build tension better. Yeah. Because the story's moving at the pace that the person can read it at. Mm-hmm. Versus, I mean, how long is it? There's books that I have the audio version where it's like it takes 3 hours, but it takes me well over 3 hours to read it.
For sure.
So, you're taking your cues from punctuation, and I don't know. I think there's some things that are better to be read as a word on a page versus heard. But I mean, I think there's different ways that the audio version is better than the written version. I mean, the story is still as good, but the experience. For some reason, it seems like you can in some ways, you can visualize things maybe better or in a different way when you're listening, when somebody's telling you a story versus when you're reading it. And it harkens back to the the spoken history that went
Yeah,
on for how many thousands of years before anybody figured out how to communicate through like symbols, you know?
I'll put it this way. Books are meant to be read. Reading is such an incredible ability, and I feel like that was the original purpose, and that's the all purpose. But hear me out. The experience of an audiobook is something...
Books are meant to be read and stories are meant to be told.
Ooh, Matthew, put that on.
I thought you were gonna say that.
No, you had to finish it for me. But the narrators, if they're spot on, or like the production quality, like I've listened to Dune, it's awesome. They have different voice actors for different characters. Peter Coyote, I think he was the guy that he narrated Hatchet, and his like raspy voice, like you really felt like it, and there's music in the background a little bit. But the best audiobook performance I ever heard, I had to look up who did it, because he was so manic and I was enthralled. The guy that narrated it was incredible. Really? This guy who narrated it was long. I felt like a connection. Like you start to love how he tells the story. Mm-hmm. And then I'm sure you've had this before. Let me ask, I don't know if a book story comes to mind or a book. When you get to a certain point towards the end, the climax, where there's nothing that's going to stop you from reading the rest of it. Like you have to see it out to the end. I don't care how late I stay up. I don't care how much it takes.
Yeah,
like What book comes to mind when you get to that tipping point and there's nothing, whatever's scheduled for the rest of the day is kaput. I'm finishing this bitch.
Maybe Hatchet. I don't know. I was always like an avid reader when I was a kid. There was definitely a bunch of books. But for me, there's a different thing where it's like you would not finish it because you didn't want the story to be done yet.
Oh my god, that's a terrifying. I mean, such an ode to the author for having told such a story, to put those words in the right order and just entice someone to want to finish the story. I yearn for that. I hope one day, Matthew, I can make you feel such a way. I can tickle your balls I can tickle your soul's balls with my stories.
Well, I mean, that's the whole purpose of telling the story, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to have some sort of a deeper meaning or something like that. I don't really know.
I enjoy often telling stories of people say in journalism, telling stories, it's just more not artificial, but like I just wrote a article about the firefighter of the year and just learn about this guy's life. Grew up in Ukiah, was a welder, didn't like it, switched to EMT, became a volunteer firefighter here in Winters. Firefighter of the year, this guy. And I don't know, that's another human having a human experience. Not sure where I'm going with this, but I'm telling his story. And I've told stories like this of just different people, different small businesses. There's always a story there. It's kind of dope. This person had the balls to start their own business, and they're going for it. It's successful or whatever. Like every story has a
everybody's just a person. You know? Everybody you see out there's got their own life. They got their own story.
Yeah. The broken roads we take to get to the present.
Yeah, it's like more and more though. You see people on the side of the road or something like that. So, man, what are those people's stories?
Went to go to the shout out to the Wreath Project. The Wreath Project golf tournament. Going over there to Hagen Oaks, and I was over there with Curtis Stocking, the great and powerful, the realtor god, Curtis Stocking, and
behemoth.
There's some drinking to be had, and we're having a great time. We're with Jim and then Mike Barnett. It was an awesome time, just a great foursome, not sexually, but in golf. And we're pulling up to the freeway, beautiful golf course, and there's a chain link fence. I say, Goaty.
How many holes?
18 holes. 18 whores. Nate of the horse. Just
20
joking.
What?
27. No.
I thought there was
so Goaty, we call him Goaty.
22.
And I said, Goaty, there is a chain link fence between two realities right now. The haves and have-nots. These homeless... these poor bastards, these people, these human beings are just living on the side of the freeway, and we're playing golf right in front of them. Like, I feel terrible. It's a weird conflict. I'm not going to apologize for not being where you're at. It sucks. I feel a lot of it. People have zero chance because their mom was smoking crack when they're in the womb, beaten, abused. How are you supposed to turn out? Addicted?
Yeah.
Schizophrenic?
Naughty.
Like, they're just disregarded, and society doesn't.
I don't know what the answer is, but whatever they're doing ain't.
It's not working, but we're sitting there playing golf. And Goaty concurred.
Wow.
But we're in this reality
What are you
right
gonna
here, podcasting. What are you gonna do? We're gonna be better people, Matt.
Oh.
We're gonna try to empathize and love is the answer, Matt. I don't care what you say, who you believe in.
Indeed.
Love is the answer. As long as it's not pedophilic. That love does not
Jesus
fly.
Christ sandwich, that took a turn.
Yes, it did. A screeching halt. I have a sound effect of a car just screeching to a crash. Yeah, it's a good one. But I need to make some dinner, sir.
Indeed,
Take a
I
pill,
think
but
my
thank
kids
you.
are home.
Thanks for coming by onto the
Yes,
tap, sir. Tap of the
sir.
Peacock Lounge. I love you. Love all of
Pleasure was
you.
indeed mine.
So much pleasure. All right. Good day, everybody. Good day.
You lose! Good day, sir!